Alright, last game with Triumphal Arc in it for the match. There's also Basilica alongside it, which gives you 2 points every time you buy a card and have $2 or more left over. So, over to the board. Again, we see Haunted Woods. It is draw, crossroads, draws as well. So it seems like you want to set up some kind of university haunted woods thing. Crossroads actually is a very nice counter to Haunted Woods. Beautiful counter to Haunted Woods. The first time I played with Haunted Woods, the Crossroads was in the game, and one of the girls we were playing with just found the counter immediately, and I was busy building this border village Haunted Woods thing, and she was just parrying the attack like it was no big deal with Crossroads. So I do open with the Haunted Woods on the 5-2. I could change this hovel to an estate just because Crossroads exists and I do want to get one. It'll provide a little bit extra draw with the estate and the overgrown estate in the deck. It also serves as a source of plus action, but going to pick up the Crossroads instead. My opponent on the 4-3 is probably going to go for Forager Potion. Yeah, that's what I would go for there as well. And we are on our way here. 4 here has to be Potion. I can't not pick up the Potion at this point. Excuse me. And a University for my opponent. Actually here, even though Forager is on the board, which is a nice trasher, Familiar is still uncomfortable to deal with. It's not so easy to deal with Familiar on this board, and for that reason I think it's worth it to pick up a Familiar. Maybe you get Familiar first if possible, I'm not sure. But the University is okay as well. You want to spam those Haunted Woods. Again, with Triumphal Arc, it looks like Haunted Woods will be your target pile. You don't really want too many Universities in your deck as they're stop cards, and once the Woods run out, the only nice target after that would be the mining villages. Forager is decent too. So here, my opponent is a little clever with the Haunted Woods attack, uses 4 to buy a Fiodum, which trashes the hovel from his hand, which he would otherwise have to top deck. Obviously the idea with the Fiodum is to have the Forager trash it and you'd get 3 silvers. Lots of money or lots of Forager food depending on the state of your deck. Once you get your draw up, I'm not really sure what else you do aside go for money. Maybe actually the Fiodum thing, like you buy a Fiodum, trash it, get lots of money, then your Forager has things to do as well. You probably want some gold in your deck just because farmland exists. So alright, back here, 6, interesting decision point. I could pick up another Haunted Woods. Remember I talked about chaining Haunted Woods in the previous video with Haunted Woods in it. But I don't have any trashing and it's going to be turn 6 for me. So I'm going to pick up a Forager here. But I'm going to do it with farmland. So it allows me to get 2 junk cards out of my deck. So buying the farmland means I get to trash the hovel. And I convert the overgrown estate into a Forager. Alternatively, I could have just overpaid for the Forager and picked up 2 Basilica points, but I decided, look man, you need to start trashing. Your opponent has already started to trash, and Familiar is a thing. Familiar is an issue, and if you don't get your deck under control, it's gonna wreak havoc. So here I would have picked up a Familiar if I could have, I think. Especially considering I have the 1 Haunted Woods already. But I only have 2 potions, so it's going to be the University. Right now, that Crossroads hasn't done a lot for me. It drew once, and then it hasn't drawn at all. In fact, it might have prevented me there from picking up a 3 potion and going for the Familiar. So I get my Haunted Woods draw here, and I think I am going to get rid of the Necropolis here for 6 and 2 buys. So I could farm land into Province, but why would I? I could also pick up another Haunted Woods here. Again, maybe trying to start the chains going, right? But I am going to bunker down on the trashing, picking up a Forager. The Basilica partly influenced that decision, and I'll pick up a second Forager too. So I have 3 Foragers in my deck. That should be enough to clean up The starting cards plus whatever Curse's Familiar puts in. 3 Foragers is a lot. And I get the 2 points from the Basilica, which is always nice to have 2 points, right? I have the University and I can gain the Haunted Woods at some point later. But for now, I really want to manage this trashing issue. Because I'm quite worried about this familiar scene. Especially, I don't have one, so I can't return the volley my opponent sends at me. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned, which is why I went for the double Forager there. Look, here's one curse. I pick up a silver there. Don't want another Forager. I feel that's overkill. And silver seems like the best thing to put into my deck on 3. Yeah, a little bit of money doesn't really hurt here, especially because I could pick up Haunted Woods with it and another familiar for my opponent. So things are looking scary because he has 2 of those guys. I have 0 of those guys. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to get flooded and going to probably lose this game if I don't deal with those curses. So luckily I see my Foragers up early here. 3 cards out of the deck, very nice. I consider buying another Crossroads, but I only have the 1 green card in my deck now, so it really isn't good to put into my deck, and it's actually pissing me off. My opponent trashes his Feardom here, which I thought was a touch early for him, but we'll see how it works out. Yeah, the Crossroads is annoying me because, well, it shouldn't annoy me. I shouldn't expect it to draw cards, but it's just there and it isn't drawing cards or saving us plus actions. Uh, Anyways, I have here only money for university. I do want a second one. Mining villages can explode and get you lots of money, so why not pick up another university, right? I get double junked here, but fortunately it happens after the shuffle, so I have a semi-clean shuffle here before I have to deal with those curses. 6 potion for my opponent, nice amount of money here with a couple buys. Could be like Familiar Forager, Familiar Silver, University, Procession, a University Mining Village, um, any of those things. He picks up a 3rd Forager, so now we each have 3 Foragers, right? And still I don't have a Familiar yet. I am going to pick up one here because I now have the money to do so. And these universities are absolutely going to be Haunted Woods. No reason for them not to be Haunted Woods. And I'm so annoyed with this Crossroads, I am going to kill it here. I did it because I was annoyed at it, but it turns out it's actually decent to kill the Crossroads here because um, what I could do is pick up Familiar here and buy back the Crossroads if I wanted it. And I probably should have kept it, I think. I probably should have kept it, I think, even though it wasn't doing that much work. So I could have bought back the Crossroads there. I only realized as soon as I clicked enter and shoot, I could have picked up back the Crossroads there. So I did trash it just to get the points off the Basilica, and I could have put it back into my deck, but missed my opportunity to do that. And I finally have a familiar, right? So I'm finally able to return some curses back to my opponent. And I'm sticking a Haunted Woods in play here. Excellent, excellent. And again, I shuffled before my opponent sent another volley of curses my way. So that is working out for me. He isn't, you know, sending the curses that quickly at me. So I'm happy about that. I can better manage my deck because of it. Also, he has those additional silvers, right, which might get in the way of playing his familiars more frequently. So there's that. In the meantime, my opponent has picked up a procession. I found that to be very interesting. I wasn't sure what it is he wanted to buy with the procession. I mean, what action card he wanted to use on the procession. Maybe he could use procession on his universities to get more familiars. That's a clever thing you could do. But outside of that, I don't really see what the plan is here with the procession. Of course, it's a throne room, right? Throne room is always good, but I didn't really see how I could make use of the procession, so I'm not gonna pick up one here. Another Haunted Woods for me here, again, just trying to establish the chain as best as possible. and another familiar for me here. So we have two of those. I believe my opponent has one more university than me. And he is gonna pick up the remaining haunted woods here, I believe. Yeah, so he gains two off his university, and he is gonna buy the last one. So I think that split actually ended up 5-5, which is funny, right? He had to gain three here to level off that split. So that pile is done, and it's probably going to be the pile from which we have the most action cards, 5 each, and then we have to see about the not Basilica, the Triumphal Arc points. Right now it's Forager for both of us, right? We have 3 Foragers in deck, so if we put 2 more Foragers in respectively, we'll get 6 points for those guys. Forager has a lot of potential on the board. My opponent has some connection troubles here, which is why you see this pop up. Yeah, it has a lot of potential. There's, what, 5 treasures on the board. Contraband isn't terrible, I think, on this board. If they lock provinces, you could potentially buy farmland, especially considering I have a farmland already. So I don't think contraband is terrible on this board. It's decent, but I mean, I'm not gonna buy a contraband before Haunted Woods here, especially when Forager gives me the plus buy. Anyway, so now I pick back up the Crossroads, partially anticipating having to buy green cards. I was entertaining thoughts of picking up a Feodum here to trash it to get silver, but I don't think my deck is in the position where I can buy that Feodum. I'm not so thin where I could trash it with the Forager and make use of the silver effectively, I feel. So just going to pick up a farming village. It does force me to top deck the farmland, which is a little bit unfortunate. I really don't want to have to do that. I really would like to set up this Haunted Woods thing, right? All this junk from the familiar has been getting in the way of me chaining my Haunted Woods. So that's not great. So now we're going to turn our attention to the mining village pile. So that is a pile I feel like you don't want to choose to have as your arc pile, because sometimes you want to blow up your mining villages and then you just lose 3 points if that's your arc pile. So probably stay away from that if you're going to triumphal arc points. Stay away from that for your points anyway. So here, I actually wasn't. I was tracking here to see how many haunted woods we each had, just to count in the arc points. But at this point in the game, I wasn't so aware of the game state, meaning we are closer to a 3 pile than I thought we were. Right, because the familiars are gonna run the curses. That's the pile I was neglecting, right? I was seeing just Haunted Woods Forager mining villages as the 3 piles under threat. But the curses pile under threat, and my opponent has a procession, so that could run the curses even more quickly. For a gain here for me, I do think about the Feodum, I really do. Again, because I feel like I have more time than is actually present in the game, but I feel like the deck can't deal with that Feodum right now. I still have these purple guys floating around. No way. So just going to pick up the mining village. It's an on-call silver, rarely. On-call silver for me, so I'm just going to stick it in the deck, and there's no harm in putting plus actions when you have a bunch of haunted woods floating around here. So, my opponent shows greater awareness of the game state here with his play. And I found it to be strange at first until I thought more. I was like, why did he do this? There must be a reason. And then I saw, oh, the curses. So what I mean here is he goes for points at this point in the game. And he also makes use of his single procession, and he used it on a Haunted Woods. And that is the one that confused me the worst. Why would you get rid of that from your deck? I couldn't see why he would do that. You know, again, because I thought there was a lot more time in the game, right? He does pick up another procession here, as well as a mining village. And he is going to process the Haunted Woods, right? So he's going to get 6 cards next to him. It also hurts his arc points, but that's not really the issue right now, considering he only has like 9 points from the arc of his Foragers. So, this is me thinking about the game state and realizing, whoa, we are very, very close to the end here. I see now why he did what he did there. But, but, turns out I do have a 3 pile option open to me here. So again, if you want, pause the video, see if you could find it. Um, I'll just, well, you'll see it eventually, but the pile out option for me here is play these familiars, get rid of the curses, and I need to see both my universities as well as enough money to uh, buy 2 foragers. So 2 universities will get me 2 foragers. I'll buy 2 foragers and I'll have enough buys for my 3 foragers to pick up the 2 curses that remain in this stack there to finish out the game. Money is not an issue because my opponent trashed his potion, making foragers with 2. So as long as I could play these on something, I'll be fine. So I have 6 gains to finish the game. And again, the arc points helped here. Gaining foragers for me is gaining 3 points, right? So this is, first one is 3 points, second one is 3 points, but subsequent ones aren't. But 6 points is a lot of points, especially in an end game like this. So 4 buys is, and enough money to close out the game. So that is how the match ends. Triumphal are coming clutch in many end games here. So something to look out for in your end games. Alright, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next match.